At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance, we are the future of crypto.
Good morning, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day to the HEX fam out there, core fam, pretty much crypto fam. We all got to come together and be a force to be reckoned with. Our HEX community has set the example for how to host events, parties, everything come together. So I hope that everybody else can kind of follow suit, and from there, bigger and better things. All right, let's get into it today. What's up, Mobius? How you doing, my man? So checking the bubbles. All right, up to look at that, 675 followers. Appreciate that, guys. Trying hard out here. So we're growing slowly but surely. And this is what I like to see. It's been a while. We've been looking at these bubbles, and they have been nothing but red for the last year now. In the last couple of weeks, things have really changed. I think the bottom is definitely in. We've been saying that for almost a month or so now. A lot of people think that towards the end of the year, things are going to get bad. And I agree with that. I think we're going to have a really nice run up before that happens. Hopefully towards 40,000. That's what I'm shooting for. And then kind of a summer lull as we head into fall, approach the halving. But that's once that lull comes in the summer, I think that's when Pulse Chain's going to launch and fireworks will ensue. But we'll see what happens, day by day, no expectations. So let's get into some stuff for today. So first article here, the FDIC denies report that Signature Bank must give up on crypto. So I don't know if any of you guys have heard or not, but there's been rumors swirling that two anonymous sources claimed the buyer of Signature Bank would have to agree to give up all crypto businesses. Initial reports that the FDIC was forcing Signature Bank's buyer to abandon crypto activities appeared to confirm suspicious that regulators targeted the bank because it did business with the crypto industry. But the New York Department of Financial Services was quick to dismiss his claim, saying in a statement the decision to place Signature was based on the current status of the bank and ability to do business in a safe and sound manner. The FDIC said it will accept bids until Friday for Signature Bank, which shut down on March 10th. For SVB, this will be the regulator's second attempt to sell the institution after a failed auction on Sunday. So that really makes me question if this is real or if this is actually true, that these anonymous sources are right. So I highly doubt somebody would not want to buy this if they had access to all this crypto. But also, who knows if they were doing stuff on the shady side and were in a huge hole. I didn't look at the balance sheets, didn't look into it, nor do I really care. This part about crypto being taken out, that's a problem. We can't have that. That's going to be the damper on the industry. But I mean, the New York FinCEN is one of the strictest regulators in the country. The fact that they came out and said that that's not the case makes me feel better. But still, this is not good. We need to see crypto being able to be banked. And I think that's what Kraken is going to be for in the future. Once they are able to open up a bank and actually have access to CBDCs or digital dollars, or with the Fed now wallet. I don't know how it's going to work, but I have a feeling Kraken's going to be right in the middle of it. And if they open a bank on top of it, that is going to kind of be hopefully the start for the next evolution of where the space is going. And where I think it's going in this next bull run is layer 2s is going to be a massive, massive narrative. Arbitrum just had their airdrop yesterday. Kind of bummed out. I was lazy as hell and did not do any transactions in the month of March. So I believe that is the reason I didn't get it. I qualified for pretty much everything else except for just kind of let everything sit this month, which sucks. But shout out to everybody that's getting this airdrop. I saw the IOU is at $10 right now. It's trading on one of the exchange. I forget what exchange, but that's good to see. I should check it out right now. ARB. The ARB IOU is trading at $10.13. So I don't know if let's see what exchange this is on. Hotbit. So Hotbit right there. Once the airdrop comes, you can get it to Hotbit quick. I'll dump it immediately, but I have a feeling you can't. You will not be able to do that. These IOUs, I believe, are a different coin. But all right, next article here. DAO organizes holy pilgrimage to meet the Dogecoin dog in Japan. If people are this crazy and this is why I feel like we are starting a bull market. You didn't see this stuff a couple months ago. It was just all negative press. So when, try Doug here, truly a life-changing moment to meet you today at Kabusuwama Mama. So you got people traveling to Japan to meet the Dogecoin dog. And the reason I brought this up is because a DAO organized this. It wasn't, I don't believe it was a person. So just the whole idea. Oh yeah, the trip comes courtesy of Own the Doge, a Doge-oriented NFT community focused on the pilgrimage to see the dog. And just the whole idea of DAOs and where they're going to go in the future, I think we are kind of undervaluing them. Well, I see stuff like this. Link's DAO wins bid to buy Scottish golf course. This is awesome, in my opinion. This is exactly kind of what Hexago, in my opinion, could be. If we came together and launched a coin or NFTs to like parcels, I feel like this could be something we could do. If Hexagons all came together and bought a golf course. I mean, I could see that happening. A golf course with houses on it or something, that's not out of the realm. They scooped this thing up for like $750,000. So, this stuff is possible. And this is where crypto is all going in the future with NFTs, communities, DAOs, all that stuff. So just keep an eye out for stuff like this. And when people, the whole NFTs are JPEGs, it's loosely, yes, that's true. For right now, pictures are not what NFTs are going to be in the future. They're going to evolve to something much, much, much better. And, time will tell. I could be wrong, but I just have a feeling that the growth is going to really, really come in the next year or two with music, sports clubs, like movies, actors, just fans for anybody. So this article here I want to talk about. BlockSec prevents $5 million from being stolen on Paraspace. Now, a couple weeks ago, we talked about the Oasis hack on Jump Protocol and how they magically found their admin keys. And they basically, I'll just go through it for anyone that's new here. So Oasis, a website that allows users easy access to Maker Protocol, DeFi's oldest and largest lending protocol, is working on to patch a vulnerability that allowed for recovery of some $150 million in crypto. The finality of a crypto transaction is widely considered one of several barriers to mass adoption and simultaneously one of the biggest strengths of the technology. A transfer of crypto from one wallet to another cannot be reversed, and crypto kept in a self-custody wallet typically cannot be touched by anyone but the wallet's rightful owner. It means no crypto ever leaves a user's wallet without their permission. In the event a user is tricked into granting that permission, however, you're left with no recourse. In an exclusive interview, CEO Chris Bradbury told the Defiant that Oasis's business model would collapse if the company were to maintain its ability to move crypto from a user's vault without their explicit approval. So this was an interesting tweet here. So as much as I love the wormhole hacker getting owned, I don't even know how you pronounce that. I'm a boomer. What I don't love is the MakerDAO's Oasis automation has a backdoor that let them seize assets from a user based on a court order. This is exactly what I was been saying. I wish I found this a couple days ago. What happens when the U.S. courts demand they seize U.S. users in the future? And that's exactly what I'm fearing about. News of the reverse exploit first broke on Friday. Oasis and Jump managed to recover some $150 million that was stolen last year from the wormhole, a protocol which lets users bridge assets between Solana and other blockchains. So they came in and they recovered the $150 million of the 220 that was stolen. So more recently, the hacker opened 2 Oasis vaults in order to create a leveraged long position on a pair of ETH staking derivatives. About 2 weeks ago, an ethical hacking group approached Oasis with some surprising news. They found a way to take the money out of the hackers' vaults. The reverse exploit would rely on a vulnerability that they had found in Oasis's ability to upgrade the smart contracts that manage said vaults. Traditionally, software is a work in progress. Even once a piece of software is finished, it's continuously upgraded to make it more performant or secure. Think, for example, of the major operating system updates Apple asks iPhone users to download each year. I mean, I can't compare that to. The ability to upgrade smart contracts is controversial within the crypto industry. Any upgradable software can be changed to benefit the user or company, government, or some third party. Bradbury said upgradability has been built into Oasis to allow the company to fix any vulnerabilities and protect user funds. Ironically, a flaw in that part of Oasis's software made it possible for a third-party access to users' funds without Oasis's permission. At no point could a third party exploit a user's vault single-handedly. That's impossible and has never been possible, he told the Defiant. Our first reaction to it was like, oh no, that's not possible, he said. The first trial run failed. Several days later, however, Oasis became confident they could recover the stolen money. And this, I just have a feeling, was the reason. Bradbury suggested Jump had sought a court order that forced Oasis's hand. When the hacker first opened a pair of Oasis vaults, Jump asked Oasis whether anything could be done to get at the money. Jump was told it was impossible. But when he went back to the company after he learned of the potential counter exploit, we couldn't be the judge, jury, or anything like that. We only acted on the order of the high court. We did not make the decision to do this. When the assets were withdrawn from the hackers' vaults, they were quickly sent to a court-authorized third party, Oasis said in a Jump release. Bradbury told the Defiant the third party was not Jump per se, but an affiliate of Jump. So what do you guys think about that? The vulnerability that made the counter exploit possible will be patched, possibly within the next couple of days. To maintain power would be to counter Oasis's own ethos, he added. If it was by design and we were aware of it before, I'd have much agreement and maybe sympathy to those comments. Our entire strategy revolves on us not having access to users' funds. Upgradability, it isn't DeFi. But at the same time, if you want to get mass adoption, you need to protect your users in some way. When we talk about getting the next million users or billion users, almost all of them aren't going to want their money to be lost through exploits that can be avoidable. So that right there is the excuse that they're giving you for completely being able to control all these protocols. All DeFi in the future, in my opinion, is going to have this in it. If you're going to follow the law or whatever the new legislation is. This was MakerDAO, the first and biggest DeFi protocol out there. And they had these admin keys in there the whole time. And they knew it. And they didn't go and say anything or use them until courts ordered them. And now they're going to patch it up and make it all better. So you can just have admin keys in there, go back, make changes, and then allegedly fix them. And that's it. Then it's final. You wouldn't be able to go back again and again and again and again. I don't believe that. So that's a big problem. And this affects every single DeFi protocol out there with admin keys. Polygon, Chainlink. Almost 90% of crypto projects out there have multi-sig somewhere in the code or this access. And they're or whatever they called it. The ethical white knight hacking group. So they were the ones that allegedly found this. So this protocol that's been out here has probably had almost had billions of dollars in it. And it had this vulnerability all along. And it took a court order for them to find it. This just makes me worried for people out there who are in other DeFi projects. And that's why I am so much more bullish now on HEX. HEX is real DeFi. There are no admin keys. None of this can apply to HEX. And that to me is where it is what separates us. Same thing with Texan. Same thing with most of these projects that are launching on Pulse Chain. They will not have admin keys. All of this cannot happen. This is a nightmare right here. People are not understanding how bad this is. There was $3.2 billion of hacks in 2020 across a bunch of different blockchains. So every one of those, if one of them happened in the United States, the US can now go back and say, hey, let me see if you guys have admin keys. Go back and double check. And when they have the pressure of courts and the law coming after them, I think they will magically find them. And it's sad to see. And people are going to get caught off guard by this. I mean, look at this. DeFi lender Euler suffers $200 million exploit. So the attacker managed to steal $136 million of Lido Finance's staked ETH. So that's a huge problem. I was super bullish on Lido, honestly, and I need to start doing more research because that's a big problem. Now Lido is susceptible to this same problem. And BlockSec here, I didn't get about this article, but they already prevented $5 million from being stolen on Paraspace. So do these guys all have admin keys built in? They can just use them whenever they need to. So security firm BlockSec prevented a hacker from stealing $5 million from the NFT project Paraspace. After the hacker was unable to execute the hack due to low gas fees, BlockSec carried out an attack as a white hat and took control of the assets. BlockSec, a smart contract audit firm, prevented the hacker from stealing 2,900 Ether. They detected the hack in real time and rescued the funds. We monitored and observed the failed transaction. Meanwhile, we redeployed the hacker's contract with some upgrades to do the rescue. Paraspace said in a Twitter post it had paused its lending protocol and was investigating the issue. The vulnerability in Paraspace's lending contract could have allowed the hacker to borrow crypto tokens with less NFT collateral than needed, which would have allowed it to drain the liquidity. So what do you know? These guys have admin keys. And nobody knew it up until this happened right here. And now they're spinning this off as a good thing that they saved these people. How are we going to get the next billion people into crypto if we don't have the ability for them to not lose money? It's crazy the way that they're pushing this. It's sad to see. And I can see exactly the narrative that they're going to use to do it. It needs to be safe. It's the same thing with the banks custodying your crypto. Right now, Goldman Sachs, Fidelity, Bank of America, they're buying the shit out of crypto. And they're not telling you. The same thing Jamie Dimon's been doing for years now. If you say Bitcoin, if you mention Bitcoin in my company, you'll be fired. Well, guess what? How'd that work out? He probably pissed off more people in his company than that did good. Because now you just told all your employees you're not allowed to get ahead. How does that make you feel personally? When your boss is telling you, you can't buy this, it's for criminals, and you know damn well he's buying it in Europe through shell companies and stocking up on Bitcoin. And now he's completely came 360 and changed his tune. It's really bad. And the same thing with banks. They're loading up on DeFi on all these cryptos. Your library was already considered not a security, the secondary sales, right? So library tokens being sold all around, not a security. When they launched, they did it wrong, whatever. They pay a fine, you're good to go. And I just don't see all these cryptos being deemed securities. If the secondary sale of library is good, I think the secondary sale of almost all these tokens are going to be good after they pay a fine or after whatever happens with legislation. But right now, the banks are all loading up. I got an email earlier this week from Gemini just reaffirming that all our funds are safe. Don't worry about it. We store all of our cash reserves with who? Goldman Sachs, State Street Bank, and Citi. So it was like, you got to be, no, it was JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and State Street. So Gemini is one of the biggest exchanges out there. They're out of New York, licensed in New York, and their money is held by Goldman Sachs. I think this Silvergate thing was a shakeout to get crypto and get all these companies' money into the big banks' hands, and then they can kind of control things from there. And what I think is going to happen is all these coins that we see right here, all these cryptos that are too risky right now and too dangerous for the retail average person to hold, banks are going to buy them up as they're doing right now. All these institutions are buying them up for pennies on the dollar. And then once legislation comes in a year, 2 years, they're going to sell them all back to you safely for 10 times the price. They're buying everything up at rock bottom. And then when it's safe and, your aunt next door hears about Ethereum Classic for the first time and doesn't know how to get it, she'll walk down to her bank. They'll sit down with her and they'll have their V4 version of Uniswap built into their back end of their private blockchain that they're on, or they're going to be using a public blockchain that we can all see for stuff like that. And they'll just be making swaps, charging a fee, and Uniswap each bank will be Uniswap on their own network or their own end. And all these coins are going to be interoperable, I believe. So the blockchains like Quant, that's their whole mission, is to be interoperability, to be glue for these different blockchains. So once they can talk to each other, and once you can send stocks, tokenized real estate, NFTs, crypto all in one platform, that's where we're going in the future. That's where this is all heading. It's just going to take a little bit of time till we get there. And the writing is already on the wall. I'm seeing it right now that it's a consolidation of banks. I think a lot of the small credit unions, small local savings bank, regional banks, they don't need to exist. To have a 2,000 square foot building where you're paying $15 a foot, triple net on that lease, it's crazy. It's not sustainable. So I think they're going to shut down 50% of those banks, get rid of them. They're going to get swallowed up by JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. And then they're going to slowly build Uniswap V4 into their back end, into their networks, into their blockchains. And you'll be able to log into the website and basically use your I think MetaMask will sync up to it. What really opened my eyes was when I filed my taxes this year. And when I did it through, what the hell's the name of it? One of the free sites in TurboTax. If you trade crypto, there was an option on there for you to link up your MetaMask account and sync it up so that you could go through and they would automatically calculate your taxes for you. So they're building MetaMask capabilities and, adoption for a lot of these institutions. We just don't realize it yet. So when I saw that, I was like, oh boy, that's not good. I would never have connected my MetaMask to the TurboTax account so they could see all your transactions. I didn't do that. Obviously, I have some time to figure out what I'm going to do about that, but I'm honest with it. I'm not trying to hide anything, but I just don't want to give all of my transactions on there. If doing it legally by the law, going through every single transaction you made by swap, God, it would take 10 years for me to go through this last year. So it's just not physically possible when you're moving stuff and bridging it across chains, an atomic wallet, for example. This morning I just swapped some Matic that I bridged from Polygon. I had my YFDI airdrop on there. I swapped that for Polygon, sent it to Atomic Wallet, swapped it for Bitcoin, and now I sent that out to Cash App. So I don't know how you would be able to, for a tax advisor, somebody to be able to look at what you did across all chains. It's just so much tedious work that I'd rather just ballpark it and say, yeah, this is what I think approximately I made. This is what came into my bank account. This is what I'm paying taxes on. I'm not syncing my MetaMask account up to TurboTax. That's crazy in my opinion. Let me see if I can it was here into it. I'm not going to pull and do that. But once you file this, there's MetaMask built in, which is crazy. So they're going to be able to see everything in the future. I think in the future we're going to have to give our addresses. If you own crypto, what's your address? And then they're going to be able to, with like the new AI with ChatGPT, I'm sure you could say, hey, what do I owe on taxes? What's my net profit from this wallet? That stuff's coming, but until that's available, I'm not doing this stuff manually. It literally would take 10 years. So, this is just nerve-wracking to see all these DeFi, alleged DeFi protocols out here with all these funds stolen. Their courts are going to be able to pull this same thing. Go back and find that admin key, find your multi-sig that you didn't know you had. And that way they can prevent hacks from happening. The industry is safer for everybody. And the next billion people can come flooding into the markets because they don't have to worry that their ledger is going to get hacked. That's pretty much what this was. MakerDAO, one of their DeFi wallets, that would be like if Staker app got hacked. Could you imagine if in Staker app one day you woke up and your app got hacked and you didn't do anything with you didn't give your keys to anybody? That's pretty much what this is happening with these protocols. And they have a court ruling now to have framework and a guideline to say, here, this is how we got to do it. Check the code. And 90% of crypto has that built into it from what I'm being told. So watch out. If you think you're in DeFi, double check. Because HEX is real DeFi. And that cannot happen. You can't just, and that's the other sad thing too, is they're talking about is changing the code. Where's the article? I think I lost it. So they can go back and then update the code as we go along. That's horrible. That's not DeFi. So they came back and they patched the vulnerability, but having the ability to change it going forward is what we need for max adoption. That's what this guy, Chris Badbury, is saying. This is how they're spinning this. They're going to use this and say it's too dangerous. It's too risky. We can't have this. If we want mass adoption, we have to have centralized authority. See, look, we can prevent hacks. No, have good code like HEX that is solid. It's freaking ran for 3.5 years and it's done. That's it. So be careful out there. If you think you're in DeFi, you're not, unless you're in HEX. And I'm sure there's other projects out there that don't have admin keys, but make sure you have to check. And let's check the chat here for a second. What's up, Mo Tin Top, my man, Lindsay the Hexican? Hello, how are you doing? HSBC made employees sign papers that they wouldn't participate in crypto or be fired. Crazy. What's up, Finbear? Still having nightmares about you in China over there. I don't know how you can make that happen. You never give your information away willy-nilly like that. Good. Exactly. Never. Come after me. I would honestly pay somebody for me to be audited to see how long it would take to go through all my transactions. I mean, I'm paying tax on what I think I made, which is completely fair, but I would love to get audited and see how many hundreds of hours get wasted in going through everything. I can't know why I can't see this. It's not. There we go. More shakeouts may come this 100% to top. I think we're going to run up to like 40K ish over the next couple months, and then something's going to break in the banking system. You know, the Fed Now wallets are going live in July. I don't think that's coincidence. July, everything goes live in Hong Kong with crypto for retail, everybody, I believe. So I think July, you know, that's going to be a massive sell the news event and be a big dump heading into summer. But I could be wrong. You know, I'm going to be looking to really, I'm in a lot of degen plays right now with altcoins and stuff, and I'm going to really be scaling out of them after this pump here. If Bitcoin gets to 30, 35, maybe 40K over the next couple months, you know, I'll be definitely pulling back and scaling more into HEX. I mean, that's my plan. What I've been doing for years now is trading the narrative, not trading, but swing trading the narratives like Fetch AI, Singularity Net, you know, Velo. There's a lot of these coins that are just going crazy right now. So when you got a coin that goes up 300, 400, 500%, you got to take profits. And I have a lot of moon bags left from last bull run that they're randomly pumping. You know, LCX, this exchange right here, out of Finbear's neighbor Liechtenstein over there. You know, these guys are doing so much under the radar. You know, the new QRC20s with Quant and Galileo protocol here, where they're tokenizing all these high-end watch. I'll play it again for you guys. So these guys right here are tokenizing real estate, high-end wine, art, luxury cars, watches, precious metals, all of that. So this is the future right here. You know, you buy a nice Rolex or something, you want to guarantee it's authentic. These guys right here, this is where you go. You have the NFT, you're now selling the NFT on the marketplace that represents the item. You know, it's really cool. You know, that's the future. I'm definitely going to buy a little bit of this coin when it comes out at 25 cents. There's only 21 million coins, and, you know, it's a degen play. But, you know, the LCX, Liechtenstein, I really like this coin. You know, this was a coin I heard about along with Polymath a year or so ago. Finally, I couldn't buy it anywhere. There was no liquidity on Uniswap, and finally Kraken listed it out of the blue. So I bought it at like 3 cents. It ran up to 15. So obviously when something 5X, you have to take profit. So I sold half my bag and now left it, and it's sitting at like 10 cents. So when it runs up again to 20 cents, I'll take more profits and put it into HEX. Because HEX, I think, is once we hit 10 cents, I don't think we're going back, in my opinion. You know, I think once we cross over that 10-cent line, it'll be the last time we see 10-cent HEX. You know, we've been just trending up. If we get any announcement with Pulse Chain, the V3 testnet, I mean, anything positive, we're getting massive green candles. You know, I really think we could see close to all-time highs within 2 to 3 weeks of knowing when Pulse Chain's launching. You know, if there's an announcement, or even when V3 launches, I think Pulse HEX will be at 25, 30 cents. You know, that 2 weeks ago when Richard's candle or his tweet sent that price straight up, I think it was this right here. When the Aragon news or whatever came out, I mean, that hasn't happened for years. I mean, he's had so many tweets just like that over the last year that did nothing for the price. And when a tweet creates that much FOMO and creates green candles, oh man, I think we're gonna do another run just like up for the sacrifices. So that's my plan, is to, some of these alts that are performing better than HEX right now temporarily, like IMX. This is the only coin I have on Gemini right now. I have it set as my reward for my credit card. So every time I swipe my card, I get up to 3% IMX back in my account. I had it set on Filecoin before, accumulated over 100 of them after buying some at like $3. Now they're sitting in my ledger, and I think it was at like $7 last time. $6.20. So we're at $6 now. So I'm more than doubled up on that bag, and half of it is from credit card rewards. And now I'm doing it with IMX. I started getting my rewards at around $1 a month ago. It's right around, oh wow, yeah, it was around $1, and then it tanked to 80 cents, and then I bought like $50 worth. Like, that's how small of orders I'm buying, guys. Like that's I did that with Fetch AI. I had $80, or I had $150 worth left from the last bull run. It dropped it dropped like 60% again, and it was like $85 worth. So I couldn't stand looking at under $100 in my wallet. So I just added $50 on, and that was 3-4 months ago, and it went on in 6x. So I pulled all that out and put it into HEX. And that's the strategy I have, is to find these. I mean, if you had bought IMX down here at 80 cents, I mean, you're almost doubled up right now in 5 days. IMX, I'm super bullish on this coin long term. They had some problems last year, same thing with Vulcan Forged, but I really think that's another great opportunity. I haven't talking about rocket pools and Lido, but that hack right here, that makes me do not touch Lido DAO. I wouldn't even stake it with Facing Reality's money. I wouldn't use that protocol with his money. They now have the same problem as Oasis, that same vulnerability. They're going to have to go in and patch that, aka they have admin keys, which is horrible. Wrecking. I think the price will go absolutely ape at the precise moment of the fork for a minute or so. Like, amazingly ridiculous. I do too. Only liquidity left be ones that are forgotten. The keys are lost. Oh, yeah. Finbear. Yes, man. Honestly, I think it is that bad. Lido, rocket pools, all they need to do is for one person to come out and sue them. They have the from the High Court of Wales and the UK and Wales court set the precedent for everybody. So that Lido hack that happened, that $120 million, if any of this happens in the United States, they're now at the same mercy as these guys. And this is the liquid staking protocols that I've been talking about, where all the ETH 2.0 that is staked on exchanges right now, on Kraken, on Coinbase, that's been locked up for years, it's going to all move into liquid staking, into these L2s, in my opinion. Not all, but a lot of it is. And people are doing that thinking, oh yeah, this is DeFi. I don't have any central authorities now, no admin. Nope, wrong. They have admin keys and you don't even know it. And that's terrible. I'm going to do a tweet about that later today. And that's just really disappointing. But honestly, that's more bullish on HEX. That's more bullish for me, for Texan, more bullish on Pulse Chain, all that stuff. So this was the last thing I want to talk about too, kind of the NFTs and community, where things are going in the future. If you're a fan of Tom Cruise, for example, there'll be Tom Cruise coin, I think, or a community that is full of actors where you can get into a sub community. And then from there, you'll have access to him, or a meet and greet, or the highest percentage of the token holders for Taylor Swift. You'll be able to have first access to concert tickets or stuff like that. Like, we're all going to, how community driven we are in HEX, that's going to spread to everything that has the ability. Movie stars, actors, athletes, all of that. Fans are going to be able to get way closer. And these people, brands, they're going to be able to extract way more value out of their own brands. People will be almost investing in them. We'll be able to invest in musicians that we think are going to be famous in the future. And then you'll be able to put money into that and actually get returns back if they make it. You'll have some rights to that money. It's really cool where some of the stuff is going. And tokenized diamonds, I saw this Tiamonds maybe a year or so ago, and the volume, there was no volume. It was dead. And I just have been keeping my eye out on it. And sure enough, sales of tokenized diamonds surged 300% last weekend when 3 banks collapsed. And the reason why I was keeping an eye on it is because it's on LCX, this exchange, Liechtenstein. Something's going on with this coin, with this exchange. I don't know what it is, but they are partners with Quant, which Quant is at the heart of the CBDCs in the UK with the prime minister over there. He's a huge Ripple bull. He worked with Quant CEO at one of his former positions. So the writing is on the wall. LCX is one of the chosen ones, however you want to call it, in my opinion. And let's see back. I'll show you this coin. So I was buying it way back in here last year at 5 cents-ish. So the end of last summer, it was sitting at 6.5 cents. And then all of a sudden, look at this. In the start of the new year, 3 cents up to 15 cents, just like that. Bam. And now with the diamonds starting to pop off on here, they also, another thing here too is they have tokenized bonds on here. This is the future, guys. Everything is going to be tokenized. Stocks, bonds, real estate, your high-end watches, cars, everything you sell is going to be tokenized to an NFT and put on the blockchain. Everything in the future. LCX tokenized bonds are based on security prospectus that have been endorsed by the Financial Market Authority, Liechtenstein, and passported across Finland to Finbear's farm and all the way through the European Economic Area, EEA, available to retail investors in 30 European countries. So here you go, Finbear. This is what's happening in Europe. 7% on your fixed tokenized bond. So you're losing, only 8% to inflation. Not bad. But just the where this is going in the future, this is where it's at. And also too, the fact that this LCX exchange already has AMP, Avalanche, Basic Attention Tokens, Celo, Constellation, Bitcoin Cash, Digibyte, Doge. I mean, look at the list of coins. This is way bigger than last time I looked at it. Optimism, Quant. Wow, they already have all these coins on here available for trade for retail. So what are they going to do in the United States? Just say, oh no, they're all legal securities, but you can just go trade them over on LCX exchange, just get a VPN and go over there. They're not going to lose out on all this money and potential tax money and revenue. I just don't see it. It could happen, but I don't see it. Well, my Tom Cruise coin moons, I'm buying a diamond on the blockchain. There you go, Tin Top. That boy. I don't, but that's the diamond on the blockchain. You actually get your real diamond. They're all backed 1-to-1. I don't know where they're stored, but you will get your own diamond, but you can't touch it. You can't do anything with it. It's held somewhere. So it's like, I don't know. It feels like money laundering to me, but we'll see. I'm just bullish on the whole idea. And this is where I think everything is going in the future, with centralized exchanges and even decentralized exchanges. You're going to have everything in there. NFT trading, stock trading, all of that. I really think that's the future and where this stuff is going. And LCX is kind of at the forefront of this. That's why I'm bullish on the coin. So I've been talking about this and also Polymath for months now as kind of hedges to things going really bad in the United States. Just in case, Uniswap gets banned, or it's not going to happen because they're building out for banks on the back end, but for the average person to be able to use it. If some crazy stuff like that happens, this is my hedges, because these coins will pump like crazy. Because this is where these guys too, Polymath, are already fully licensed, everything. All enabled platform built for regulatory environments. Digitize your real-world assets with Polymath Capital and Mint Tokenage. Manage investors, raise funds. So you can do all this stuff right here on this site. This is the future, guys. Right here, $1,000 Canadian per unit. You can buy into apartments. You can buy into this golf course right here. You can buy into a retail mall in London, pays you 14%, an 8-year investment. So all this stuff was never available 2 years ago. And it's all happened. This in the last 6 months, these have got listed on here. And this is just one tiny little, coin. Imagine when Goldman Sachs starts tokenizing stuff, when Fidelity has Bitcoin available in all of its retirement accounts, in all of its investment accounts. That's where we're going. And that's why I really think we could see a big leg up with Bitcoin up to almost 40K in the next month or so, 2 months before we hit summer. And I really think Q2 is going to be a big quarter. And then July 1st, once everything goes live, I think it'll be a sell the news event. That'll be a nice little downtrend heading into the halving and into fall, winter. And then from there, this should be game time. You're looking at any precious metal tokens pegged, like, honestly, Tin Top, I look at them and I like them, but I just feel like unless you're extremely wealthy and you're just trying to preserve wealth, you're losing out on gains to other assets. Even like freaking Pokemon cards, bro, are outperforming almost every other asset out there besides, cryptos and stuff like that. Gold and silver, it's a store of wealth, in my opinion. An ounce of gold buys you a fine suit. It's been like that for 80 years. So in my opinion, I would much rather be buying stuff like IMX, and gaming studios and these launch pads for games, these incubators for Web3 stuff. I think it's a big narrative right now, and even AI still. I just FOMO'd into shout out Mikey in the Discord into Crypto GPT. I looked at it and thought it was a freaking scam, but it was like, what? This has everything going for it right now for the narrative. We saw last bull run how crazy things can get based on a narrative or whatever. Now it's AI. So with Chat GPT going nuts, all these version 4 out, solving all these real world problems and, passing the bar exam. I think Crypto GPT, people are going to just FOMO into it. I don't know. I just have that feeling. And I don't know, it could go to zero, but I threw a couple $100 at it, and why not? And, immediately I went to their Twitter account and I was kind of nervous because nobody I follow follows them. Oh, wow. Couple black. All right. Eagle followed them in the last couple days. All right. So a couple people started following. Oh, Swift, blockchain, Downmaker, and block. All right. So yeah, no, that was my problem right there. Is like most when I go to most projects that like new stuff, like let's see, where's Tiamonds, for example. There's usually somebody or a few people that follow them that I know, like LCX following them. That's security for me. King Solomon right there. He's an XRP, hardcore researcher. I like some of his stuff, but you got to take it with a grain of salt. You can't listen to one person in this industry, in this space, or you will get wrecked. But that made me nervous. That Crypto GPT, nobody really followed him at all. So I told my buddy right away, I was like, dude, nobody that I know follows him on Twitter. That's a massive red flag for me. But the more I kind of looked into it, I thought, you know what? This is the perfect FOMO coin, Crypto GPT. And who knows? I mean, it's a $30 million market cap or something. It's tiny. It's something that it's just fun. It's fun for me to do. Not for performance, but useful instead of USDC when their price is down. Honestly, I think that the USDC thing, that was kind of a fluke. I don't see stablecoins going away. Honestly, I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm done. I'm done with the imaginary horribles. You know, I've been guilty of that. Is thinking all these things are going to happen and playing what if, and none of it ever happens. It never comes to fruition. So I don't know. I think that was kind of a fluke. I always had a little dry powder in AUX. Yeah, for sure. I do too. I always keep a little bit of stable coins, some USDC on Matic and on ETH just in case. But honestly, I'm always just swapping with Ethereum or Matic or stuff. So I really just keep stable coins, to be honest, a little bit. You know, I have silver, actual silver that I bought years ago. So as far as that, I feel like that's good for now. You know, I don't really have the money to just be putting into a store of wealth and not catching the upside of these cryptos right now. But in the future, yeah, I would love to have a well diversified portfolio of everything for sure. But who knows? You know, diversifying in the future might not be a good thing. We've seen it start to kind of hurt people. You know, if you're spread out too thin in crypto, it's not a good thing. You want to be balanced, but not spread out too thin. So tokenized diamonds, you know, it's here. Tokenized, where's that polymath? You know, tokenized buying parts of a golf course. You know, that was new. I did not know that was available. You know, and then you have this Links DAO just bought a golf course in Scotland. You know, that's really cool. I would love for Hexago to come out with a coin and, you know, have some kind of treasury or some kind of buy fee that every time you buy, a percent goes into a vault. And once it hits a certain amount, there's a community vote on what we buy with it or something. You know, this is so cool, buying a golf course for $800,000. I mean, think about it. If you had 50 people, that's 15 grand a person. And now you own a golf course. You know, I think something like this is possible for like a farm, for even a golf course, for like, I don't know, something that can be productive for Hexicans and Hexaco. You know, I want to talk to Facing Reality about that. You know, this is really cool. You know, I think this is something we can do, is put together some kind of Hexican coin or Hexago coin that is out there, and for like just like this, the goal is to buy something for the good of the community or land or whatever it is. You know, I think that's an option. But that's all I got for today, guys. If you're not following, hit the like, subscribe, bell button, all. Follow us on Twitter. You know, we've been crushing a lot of these degen altcoin gems out here. You know, Velo on XLM. You know, these AI coins before they popped off. Even the stuff on Arbitrum. I'm telling you, it's jumping right now. What's going on here? All right, I'm frozen. Oh, there we go. All right, I guess I'm frozen now. Whatever. But Arbitrum, I mean, that Grail and even Vela, guys, this coin was like $4 the other day, just pumped like hell. Got up to 563. Well, look at this. You're sitting at 370 earlier this week. And I talked about it on a couple streams ago. RDPX2, Camelot, Grail. You know, there's a lot of different dexes out there, and I think they're really pumping. They're about to. Well, not financial advice, but the L2s right now are where it's at, especially with the Shanghai happening and people being able to pull that ETH 2.0 and put it into liquid staking where they don't realize there's admin keys. They don't realize if there's a hack or something. They have the ability to patch it. And I just don't like the idea of any of that. I like real DeFi with no admin keys. It's you and the code. That's it. And you know, that's where we need to go in the future. You know, real DeFi is going to be a catalyst for the next bull run, in my opinion. This is going to come out. People are going to start. I'm going to let everybody know about these admin keys over the next week. That's going to be my goal, is to be as loud as possible about this jump hack, Oasis, Lido DAO. All of them are susceptible to this. All of them now. And that's not a good thing. You know, this guy's tweet right here, I should retweet it and find it, about what happens if something like this happens to the United States of America. And what happens, I'll tell you, that protocol is screwed. That's what happens. So, all right, I'm all over the place now, guys. That's enough for me. I will see you tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. with a HEX news, maybe a special guest. We will see. Until then, enjoy the green candles. Don't do anything stupid, and go all in on Luna like Rags did. See you guys.
At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance, we are the future of crypto.